Test. Oh, okay. We are already on. Oh, test. We are starting up, chat. Let's start cooking here. Let's see here. Let me see. Okay, let me sit up. Get locked in here. Few things that's been happening here. All right, I'm gonna go through every time frame again. Weekly fair value gap you see here. Far from it. FOMC really didn't want to pursue too much higher right now. Just I don't know what it is. We just been hard to really push back down or push back up. This is as far as we went really here. We took this high out in the morning, and then we just really stalled out. I don't know what it is right now, how we're moving. Hourly gap we're landing on right now, which kind of like the hourly BPR. This has been the biggest BPR that we've seen, right? You see, as well as NQ here, we just did it to the left. This has been a mostly used here, but when it's been used, it's been just getting ran through. So this gap is now overlapped by tremendously. Just don't know how effective it is because last two times it got ran through. 15-minute fair gap above. So far, AM we had like a rip at open. I was not here for that. That would have been really good because I was pretty bullish. But after that, we took the highs, and guess what happened? Just dumped. No lo-fi? Oh shit! I thought the lo-fi is on for me. Oh, I had Spotify on yesterday. That's why. There we go. I'll be right back, chat. Okay, okay, okay. We are back. We are back. Okay, let's lock in. Let's lock in. Say that we're online. Okay, so hourly PPR basically here. It looks like it's holding, got a rebound from it. That's what I was anticipating. 15-minute drive in. I'm gonna get gap. Just looking at a bounce support, trying to move higher. That's what it looks like there. So big range. I think we go back and forth as long as we see somewhat of a like a reaction off of it. We follow suit with it. So that's what I'm looking at right now here. How did the one look like? Was there a setup that you guys like in this area, this hourly BPR 15-minute fair value gap, that you could have played off of essentially here? Something that I find a little bit tough here is like not a strong drive on Q. Maybe on ES, you could have looked at like a breaker here. Or order block play. It's just a lot of consolidation, so you might have been, unless you just put a entry here and stop right below. That's a big stop actually. It'd be very difficult to find an entry just slapping it. It's quite volatile because I've been on for like what, 1 p.m. here. It moved up like 70 points in that 10 minutes. Okay. Yeah. Oh. So this is what I can see here. That's why the 1 minute is not the cleanest. It's at sometimes, because you see the 1 minute is just doing a lot of back and forth. But you look at the 5 minute, we're getting something here. And I'm not sure. I need to look at all the charts here. I need to realign myself first. But we could be looking at a 5 minute entry, 1 minute confirmation. So it's not a 1 minute entry, it's more of a 1 minute confirmation. You're playing off that 5 minute breaker. But this is something also that is a little concerning because this is not bullish yet. You see the 15 minute here? I mean, we did support this area, but we refilled the whole top here and moved back down. That's a little tough there. I don't know if there's much showing that we're bullish yet. So it's gonna be a little challenging. I think I'm gonna have to let this play out. Let's see. Just let this play out here. I see a 5 minute breaker. I don't think I'm gonna play it here. We're bouncing between two range right now. I would rather look for entries within that the edge of the range. Possibly you look at even shorts right here. Would have been good because then you put your stop right above. We already filled this imbalance. We wouldn't need to take it anymore. We got this flip here, inversion, retap back up, stop above, about 15 points. That's something that I would have been interested in had I was on here. All right, let's see here. Let's see. I'm not too sure what's playing here. I need to look at the 5. The 5-minute, we're in the 5-minute breaker, but it's just kind of bouncing both sides in his range. Let me look at chat here. I don't think I looked at chat already. Hope you wash your hands. Yep. Can you please write in Discord when you see potential setup? Yeah, I mean, if I see something clear, that's a good reminder that I need to send it off to the Discord for those who can't watch. But there might be some things, or it does require you to be in the play, like at this current moment. Look at this chat. Chat. Winner from last month. This is in February. He just messaged me. He said, "Good looks, a free 50K take profit down." That's what he chose, and I guess he passed it in the month. And then just today, he messaged me. This is the pro count, so he passed it. He actually defunded, and got the count to 2,200, which is basically above the buffer. I think the buffer is 2,000, so he can withdraw $239, and anything he makes moving forward, let's say he makes $100 or $500, he can withdraw right away. That's kind of exciting there. Like, that's like, you basically acquired a $2,000 cash count when you have daily payouts like that. And from, you know, it is very challenging to win a giveaway, get it funded, and get it payout. I think the hit rate of that is like gotta be under 5%. It's so tough to do. Oh, and then another thing while we're kind of waiting for this play, I think the breaker looks good, but then like I don't like this. Like, if this 15-minute was unmitigated and we can use that as a draw, a short-term draw, I could play that, but we really felt it. Played lower, as well as look at the left side. This is basically a strong bearish displacement and just like a simple retrace for it. Possibly a leg lower, essentially. This is kind of like what it is right now, so that's why I'm not too liking this breaker here, which is like a short, like kind of more of a counter trend, right? If I'm looking at the 15-minute chart, we already inverse this 15-minute here, which let me just mark for reference. That at that moment here is when we start inversing on the 15-minute. We create a 15-minute fair value gap. We bounce on this last gap here, but that doesn't mean we're bullish, because we want to see, like, is it validating? Which one is it more validating? It's clearly the downside right now. So I think the clear thing, like, if it's like a model play for me, if I'm bearish here, you would have looked for shorts right there in the 1 minute. And I think that's exactly when I came back to. So a little bit hard for me to get that. But if I was here, I think we would take this trade in this inversion closure, because the entry model, you know, would have been that inversion, but the idea of it, the framework would be the 15-minute gap with a stop likely above the 15-minute gap, because we already filled it. There would be no reason for this to go up, inverse, come back up, and then like really try to go for another leg higher, unless it's just to fuck with people, like fuck with the anyone trying to short early. But more likely you would just go for the play down here, and that's a good example here. That's something we always look to take for. Oh, and then while we're on this, while we're waiting, look at this chat. got the email here. I think some of you guys seen this email from other traders that trade take profit. I really didn't trade to take profit since the daily loss limit, which is this year. And I traded a lot this month, a lot less last month. I think basically 2 months now. January, I don't know if I was trading aggressively with it yet, but you know, I hit the limit. I probably hit over 50,000 payouts. I don't know, so I don't know the limit, but they're basically saying like if you hit more than 20,000 profits, you're gonna be in consideration for a permanent live, which I like because you know you blow the live or you get all the balance out. That doesn't mean you can't go back to live. You just basically do a reset or do an eval and go back to the live. So I skipped the pro now. I mean, so it doesn't seem like a detriment so far. Maybe I'm missing something, but like look at this 80-20 split with like basically sim fills on a sim funded or 90-10 split on a live funded. Which one do you guys prefer? This is like honest question because you know fills. I mean, some people do like the sim fills, but 90-10 split like that is like a. It might seem like just 10%, but like let's say you withdraw like $1,000. The pro count is 800. The live count is 900. That's an extra $100. I think that's worth it to me. I'm like, I'm willing to do that. But yeah, I'm kind of wondering how the public would feel about that. Really, very interesting stuff, man. Very interesting stuff. We're selling off. That I don't have too much regrets, but like, damn, that would have been good. I feel like most people would know why we take that trade. If you're like trying to follow my model, that's like a trade that a bread and butter trade there that you would take. Just looking at like bias and look at potential draw and see which one is more expecting. You're looking for one minute confirmation. Bang, you take that in. And if you hesitated, that just means you weren't really ready for that trade. Because this is pretty good time here. Like by the time we reacted here, you should already after this candle here, basically from 12:45, you see this 15-minute fair value that be made. We're already bearish downtrend. You should have already looked for a potential short idea here if it doesn't get a closure above, or at least a jab at the very least. Is a profit user base or account base? It's definitely not account base, because I have some accounts that just hit like 10K, hit 5K in withdrawals, hit a few thousand withdrawals. It just accumulates. But there's one account that I hit like 12,000, 15,000. I think that's like when they started. Yesterday I made 10K. I literally made 10K. Then I take profit, and that's part of the limit. They're like, oh shit, that's a lot of money now. And you know, they're paying that out of pocket basically. God damn, this is a tremendous short here. This bullish breaker, which is like a counter trend, is about to really just turn into a bearish breaker here, which I'll mark out. Now look at the open of the high all the way to the low. But very interesting stuff, chat. Now I have all my it's funny because I have all my live account connected now. I literally have my take profit live, I have my Tradeify live, and I have the Top Step live. There's 3 firms. Take Trader live is going to be coming soon. I forget to spell the form. I'm transferring from Rhythmic to basically TradeMate/Ninja. It's going to be better for me. And it's taking a while. Wow, this is such a... I think I just missed out on a banger. I feel like we take this and we just be done for the day. Anyways, move forward. We'll look for another trade here. You see the new dark rules for Tick. It's basically a carbon copy of what is it? Tradeify. So I don't think you should be surprised Some people make the comparison like, oh, Tradeify made a new rule change. Now tick trade is better. Now what happens if they basically follow suit? Yeah, we're just falling like a knife right now. If you weren't able to, like, if you're here and you hesitate in this, you gotta really make sure you don't do in the future, because like there was no framework not to take that trade. Or to be frank there, especially on everything that I kind of work on, that's like a bread and butter there. I mean, if not, you just look for a breaker. That's why I always say, like, it doesn't have to be a breaker play. It could be anything of the sort. But people do get lost in translation with, like, it has to be breaker, it has to be breaker, when it's like, I could take inversion, I could take a fair value gap, as long as the bias there. That's why I've been kind of leaning more on, like, do you have the right framework for it? If you do, let's work. If not, we have to do something about it. Are your top step accounts Rhythmic? It's with NinjaTrader. Are you trading all your live accounts right now? Yes. All connected. I'm basically putting them all one copier. Probably not take profit though, because it starts out with trailing drawdown. The only way I would do that is I have to get it above the buffer again, which sucks because, like, I hate to do that every single time. You gotta get a buffer again and again and again. Like, it's just such a hassle. That's a downside of getting switched to live, because you restart basically. You still have the balance, but like, I don't like restart. The only way you win is if you get it above balance again. This is a bearish breaker here. This is still only another thing. We just basically filled the whole 15-minute below. If this is range bound delivery, I want to see this get the 5-minute breaker get demolished. But this is if you're a bearish trend right now, I think this is like the right play. I'm just looking at like let's say we're grading setups. This setup would be like a setup, and probably not plus, just because like there could be better. But like when you're trying to look for let's say the short now, there's no longer a clear draw on the downside, because once again we already filled a lot of the inefficiency on the downside. So is there more of a strong reason? So this would be like probably like a B- setup, post or C setup, and I'm trying to filter trades basically on looking for a B+ at least minimum. I think if I take this, it's likely going to be like more of a scalp play with low risk. But if I take the first one, because you have like a framework for it, it'd have been better. What's the best way to plot a breaker? I think it just takes you screen time, because I feel like I market more of a creative way. I have a template on that on my Twitter. You go on my Twitter highlights. I'll probably make videos on it after when I start my YouTube grind for videos as well. But I look at basically if it's like one candle, I look at the whole candle. If I look at like a series candle, like sequence, I'll go from, if it's a bearish one, open all the way to the wick low. If it's bullish, it'll be like let's say open here, wick high. That's how I market. And if it's really tough, like if we're just chopping back and forth like this, and you're trying to find like, is that a breaker? Is that a breaker? That's probably not a breaker. You would look at this in the 1, and then you probably just go on the 5 and it'll filter it, and maybe you actually get something. Maybe it'll look like this. And then be like, oh, that's a 5-man breaker. But like, I don't really try to pull the breaker because I want to. That's just forcing it at that rate. What do you guys think about this breaker play though? I just like, if it was still like a draw lower, I would like that. But here's the thing, what I would like, you know, we could either do two things. If you're bearish, you want just to slam the short. But if you're bullish here, you would probably not take the entry yet. But the moment it does break this is when you're going to be starting to look at looking for entries on the first retrace. So bearish trend right now, but if we do break the bearish trend, you immediately want to start looking for higher. Do you enter when it hits the yellow fair value gap? It depends on the stop, basically. Let's say, I'm gonna give a quick example. Let's say this is the breaker, and then, you know, let's say the fair value gap's right here. I'm not gonna enter right here because then like the stop would be like, I guess this is big range. This is a 5 minute. That's why. Okay, let's say it looks like this. Is it reasonable for me to enter? I have to wait for the fair value gap and do like a 10-point stop on a 5-minute play, or is it more reasonable just to probably tag in here and then target like that? In this case, I wouldn't target on the bottom of the breaker because that would require me to do a 50-point stop. But since the fair value gap is more like an OTE type of entry that aligns with that, you probably look for entry within this gap instead of like the bottom of the breaker. So, you know, there's like protocols with it. You just gotta make it make sense. How does the reimbursement work when they deny you a payout? I mean, people have submitted claims about it. A lot of it got resolved already before we even need to step in. But we're gonna open like a window for, not window for it, just a submission claim. Let's say, I don't know what part it would be. Tradeify. Let's say Tradeify. They deny you a payout. You think it's unjust. You really have to believe it's unjust to make a claim, though. If you broke a rule and you try to complain about it, we're not gonna do anything. But we do have a dedicated fund for each firm right now. I think it's gonna be more utilized when we launch. It's already live right now. We haven't reimbursed anyone, but it's just insurance. It's a free complimentary insurance as long as it's in our system, which I think will be very utilized for, one, I guess, firms that does go bankrupt that we have partnered with, or just any partners that is more shady. It's gonna be like a free tool. Like, so I don't want any complaints with it because it's free. You're not paying for it, first of all. But we're gonna try our best because, you know, the platform is built on integrity here. But, you know, that's just what it. There's gonna definitely be some people submitting claims, just be like, I got denied a payout from one of your partners. I did everything right, and then you dig into it more. You're like, oh, you hedging, or you're like doing something very shady, and we might just ban you from the platform because of that, just by submitting a false claim. Because I think that's something we should reserve the right to. What do you get out of that as an owner? If you're asking like why I started a smart prop firm, really, it's not just no longer me. We have a team of 5 and also contributed of other prop traders too. Desi's also on board now, and a few other people. So it's more of like a kind of like council at this rate. It's just kind of funny. But what we get out of it is, you know, we build a platform up. The revenue goes up for affiliation. But on the flip side, there's a way for us to give much more accounts as well as much more back. Because name another affiliate who gives away a third of their commission, let's say. There's none. So it's like a gap in that space. And I think it's kind of needed in a way, especially on the future side. I mean, this prop firm match, they don't give you rebates per se. They just give you like, you know, free account for points. And it's like very difficult. Like if you translate that points into accounts, they're keeping like 90% of it, and they'll give you like 1% rebate, which is like, that's not generous. Are you taking any trades? If you know anything about me right now, I don't think you take trades here. Potential shorts in this unicorn here, if you like it, but I think I want to play for this flip here because we already kind of fell on the downside, and let's say we don't have any more because this is where he opened up. I took the high and basically retraced 90%, 80% of the move. If FOMC is kind of more bullish, kind of like how I think it is, I do want this to move higher here. But you know, I'm not trying to force a trade right now. Today, a lot of people have been getting cooked, so that's also something you gotta think about. Like, do you want to force a trade? I feel like this would have been the trade that you would have played for. Let's say you just take it off the inversion here, stop above. It's a bigger stop, but you're able to go for the next low here, 58 point. That's 2.5 RR. And at the low, you're not gonna go for the low exactly, but like you're gonna trail for it, and you might as well get trailed probably back up here. It's like almost a 3R play, and that's something I'm looking for. And back to what I say like every time, like what changed for me for trading? It's reducing the quantity of trade and looking for quality instead. PW gets Apex to make a 90% sale from say 70%. If you buy evals, then it's not 1/3, but 2/3 saving. That's good. He has the leverage to do that. And I basically told my community yesterday, like, just don't even think about the creator. Don't think about, like, let's say our beef. Just, you know, think about yourself. Think about how much you can save. So I encourage people to purchase Apex from Patrick in his code because he has a 90% off, and I want my user to save a lot of money. But it was like more of a flash sale. It was like for 2 hours. Hope people loaded up on it. And I think what I was kind of explaining is like, don't go for it in the way that like you want to just buy and pass on FOMC. Just buy it and then trade it later, because FOMC, they basically strategically made it so you can get denied, or not denied, fail on this day. New sale today till Friday. Yeah, it's 80% off right now, which is good. 80% is still good. But 90% is also very good. I don't know. For me, I don't really need any more accounts. You always just wait for the good deals for, let's say, Apex. But other firms like Take Profit Trader, that's the one I've been like kind of pushing a lot of my marketing on, because it's such a good firm. First of all, like that's just a start. Such a good firm, and like what? There's no reason not to do it. Daily payouts, 30% no activation fee. Basically, you can get a 150K account all in for 250, or yeah, 250. And I think for the 50K, what was the 50K? I think it costs. Shit, I need to remember. Was it 170? And you take 70% of that. $119 all in cost on a 50K account, no activation fee, and then like you do the rebate too. I think you get $6 off. Boom, 113. That's I think that's what we decided to. Like, here's some quick math too. You see that 119 here? If you take 5% of that, what will we get? 5.95. We're just gonna round up 6. Same thing with the resets. The resets is $100, right? You take 5% of that, it's $5. We're gonna give you 6 for it. We're gonna give 6 for everything. I think it's gonna be better that way. Yo, did anyone look at that tap in? NQ missed it, but ES just did a nice tap. That's why I didn't take this because I was still watching. But oh, that's a big stop. This is a 5-minute play, but if you take this, the bare minimum would be the swing low, and you have to play for that. I was looking for NQ. I don't know why NQ didn't go in, because I would probably look at the 1 minute and play off of that. I either $6 rebate. Just look at the bio here. I pinned it. It's the platform that we have that no one else does. For example, I feel like we don't get enough props for that, because like we rebate like over 40,000 already, and then people complain like, you're making so much in affiliate. It's like, what more do you want? I made the executive decision to try to give back as much as possible. But you can't satisfy everyone. Everyone's gonna hate. There was like someone on Twitter that added me saying like, Because I posted my Asia trade. Oh, while we're waiting, I don't think I'm taking off anything off this. We're gonna wait probably more 2 p.m. It sucks, but like that's a part of like the live stream as well as my trading. You want to wait. I'm like really glued on the 15-minute chart for the most part, as well as the 5. You want to wait for when the framework is there. Right now, I'm just anticipating a flip back up, to be honest. But I need something to get there. I would need like a strong closure here, like 916, let's say, and then from 916, I'm just gonna look for like a move back up. And if we get that framework, then we're prepared. We're ready to play for it. But here's the Asia trade we took last night. Basically, we had a breaker here, which I didn't take here because I was more bullish for the upside. It played on the downside. We basically bounced on the 15-minute OB here. I like the 1, and I tried to look for confirmation, which I did get ads on ES, and really zipped it up. And this is what I showed here. So I'm up so good on Asia, which I don't know. Everything just works so beautifully in Asia, and this is what it looks like here. Literally an entry off 030, maybe 7 points of drawdown, and then plus 50, plus 60, and this is the framework here. Order block here. You're looking for a drive in, take that internal low, and then drop down to the lower time frame, which is time alignment here. 15 minutes bullish, 15-minute order block, and this is what you see on the 1 minute here. But yeah, back to what I was saying. I think this is what I was the comment. Someone's like, "You bring in 20K a month for explaining the same concepts over and over again." Like, that kind of annoyed me in a way because like, you kind of just put less of a value, discredit my work for that. I'm not taking this, by the way, once again. But what I think is we want to move higher here. This is the 15-minute here. If we can break out all these 2 breakers in the 5-minute, I'm going to play for the upside. But if we react from it, I might try to slam lows, slam sells lower here. So depending on how we react here, this is still not a bad short, but I would probably declare this like a C plus setup because we have no draw. So we're looking at I think 3 example here, right? I'll just type it out. What do I start with? 1 is draw liquidity. 2 is bias / price delivery. And then 3 is entry model. We have an entry model. Do we have a clear draw liquidity? I don't really think so. Because, yes, we have like this lows, but is it really trying to draw to it? I don't really know because the bias and the price delivery is not showing that because we're still supporting this area. And then the risk reward is not even that good here. So I would think of draw liquidity too. Like, I reference again, let's say the Asia trade. This is the easiest reference. My stop was, I think, like 15 points-ish, 15 points. Let's say it gets a close down here. I'm going to kill the trade. But my draw is 0.57. That's at least 30 points already. With a more of 15, that's like 2R type of setup. I can't really do that here. I feel like it's just tough. But you have this 5-minute unicorn. It's just up to your discretion. If you like shorts, I am somewhat anticipating the ladder here. And we get a closure above and look for maybe a change to delivery or a breaker, favorite gap, something here. If that makes sense here. Part of me is just explaining my thought process. I'll do this for the chat too. Let me just send this alert out, which is basically me just sharing my ideas. But if we don't get that breaker close, then I'll probably look for more confirmation of the downside. Let me look at chat. Thanks for the GA account. Oh, the growth? Is that growth account? Already passed 2 days ago. That's another giveaway winner. We've been like giving away, I don't know how many accounts. We gave us so many this month. And, you know, let's say 5% hits the funded in payout. That's tremendous, man. Is there any giveaways today? Every 150 likes is a giveaway. Shit, let me just mark that here. You guys don't know. Let's just cap out 5 per day. I don't think I would have. I really don't think I could have more than that. And I'll probably be running out of my stockpile. Then we'll have to buy more. We'll have to ask Brett. We'll have to ask my fund futures. Like, let me get some more accounts. Let me buy them. Oh, 5-minute rejection. This is such a bear signature here, which does invalidate the idea so far. I mean, because we haven't flipped this, so we're still bearish bias here. So I wonder if we should look for this play, look for a short trend play here. Let's see. We'll likely get this 1-minute closure, and then possibly a retap with a stop above. I always look at like how we're closing though. So far, we did basically a wick above, and then we're looking to close lower, and perfectly where the unicorn would be at. This is not the easiest play. I'm gonna be honest. Easier would have been easier would have been higher. But so far, short bias is on play here. You can look at this as the OB play here too. As long as we don't get a closure above 900, you can use that as an early break here. We're just looking at the mean threshold. But this is what I think here, the 1-minute gap, we play it to slam lower. That does align with the 5-minute. You're looking for confirmation, which we are getting. I like this as a confirmation wick here, wick closure. 2 p.m. close at in 9 minutes as well. We might get a jab inside the 5-minute again. I think overall this is a bearish play here. Wait, what's chat think? Are you more bearish or bullish here? Why don't you do giveaways by using guessing one is chaotic and messy? It makes things more in your control. I think that's why I liked it. Which we're gonna have. We're gonna. I think we already talked about. We developed a new system with it in the new platform. It should be ready next week. Or it's just more utilized. Many people are bearish. I think bearish is the right move, if I'm being honest. I think we'll get. Can we get one more drive higher? Maybe I'll try tap in on it on not my core account, just but. I think bearish is the right move here because this closure is so beautiful here, and that makes it like if we get a 5-minute closure above, I don't think I like this anymore. It is up to discretion here because I like quality trades, and this is aligning with it, but not necessarily because it's just tough. It's also a large 5-minute breaker. Look how 60 points. Very hard to utilize this, but that makes it like more reason like where you shouldn't enter from the bottom. You should enter more of a kind of a refined entry, which is this fair value gap here inside the breaker. Your stop would likely have to be above this, which you're risking about like 20 points, 25 points, and you're gonna go for a big play here. We might get a change state delivery here if we get a strong closure. Just this is definitely not easy though. Definitely easier setups earlier. I'm glad that we framed up a potential idea here, though. I didn't take it. Looking good here. Looking really good here. How many people in chat took shorts kind of inside this break on this retrace here? I'm not too mad at it because I'm up a lot in Asia, which makes it like even more imperative to be careful of taking only quality trades, because if you're up a lot already, the only thing way up is going up more. I would hate to give back, and I would hate to give back on a trade where I don't really favor too much either. You're looking good. Lots of people in the chat took that trade at least. I mean, I try to frame up as best I can. It's just based off if you like it or not. But I would probably have to frame this like a B minus C plus setup though, which does not give me too much wiggle room. That's the safest way to make money. But yeah, you think that, but you know, this whole month, let's say, I'll make money on Asia and then I'll make money on PM. And now, since I trade both sessions, it's actually like, well, we just made a lot of money. And I've been doing that on such a crazy streak this month. I don't know how much, but like, that's just what it's been like. So if I stop, like say, every time I'm up on Asia and don't trade the PM, then half my profits will probably be gone. Look at the slam. This closure does validate this change state delivery, and you're looking for aggressive push here. Looking good. There's no reason to long this here though. Longs would require confirmation. That's why I say also in the alert here, you need validation for it, but shorts don't, because we're already short bias. I should mark this though. What the heck am I doing? I forget to update this. Five minutes on New York AM is like 2 hours Asia, but the good thing this is PM though. PM is a drastic difference versus AM. PM still slow enough. Asia is just, you can't really compare the speed because Asia is just a completely different level of slow. Good drive though. This is probably the better type of entry though. You create a 1 minute gap, you react it off the 5, just get a quick rate trace, basically a drill in. Your stop would probably have to be that high though, so it's like a 20 point stop, and then you're looking for the swing low. Pretty good here. Oh man, my headphones battery just died. I guess I don't need the headphone battery. I'll just talk without it, but no more lo-fi for me. Wow, this is playing out so well now. Looking good, looking good. I should do a poll. How many people are up today or doing well today? Thank you for the kind word, Wits End. I think what tends to happen is there's two opinions made. The opinions that are seeing, let's say, like our work firsthand through, let's say, via YouTube, Discord, whatever it is. And there's opinions who have not seen any of that and makes a judgment because of a outlier, or not outlier, more of like based on statistics. Like, oh, this guy makes 100K per month. Oh, he's selling Discord. That means he's a fraud or he's a guru. But then you have the opinions of people who are first-hand experienced this. Like, he's actually trading. He's actually setting alerts. He's actually teaching you. And I should really focus on the people that are around me. You know, that's including you guys. But some of these comments do really tick me off because, like, you're making such a outrageous statement. When you know nothing about the streams or the channel or the Discord. But yeah, that's where the haters come in. It's more, I feel like just more fueled by envy here. Let's say I make 100K per month on prop firms. They'll just automatically revert to like, oh, you probably blew through so much accounts. I was like, maybe I did, but like my expenses are always 5x risk reward or a return investment. What is happening? Is he triggered by PW? No, it's not PW. It's more about just other people, because it's just been more rampant. I think it's just the outcome of getting larger. I need to get used to that, because you basically have unprofitable traders' opinions, which I think that's why I describe it as. I think we're probably done with the PW saga, right? He hasn't really spoken about my name anymore. I didn't know you actually blew counts. That's part of the expense though. So like let's say this month I do 100K. If my expenses are 15,000, that would probably because some accounts were hit. As well as like activation fees, evals. The most accounts that I blow through is our evals. Like yesterday, I posted like 30 Apex evals just blown. That's just what it is. Yeah, this is probably another short entry model here. It just not. It's just like you're kind of shorting a discount, but you have to be very aggressive, which would be like a C- play. Have you shared your thoughts on the new Tick Trader changes? I feel like the Tick Trader is basically the identical carbon copy of Tradeify, so like it's just even the playing ground, right? There's not really much to cover here. I don't ever see you lose money on how you're spending 15K. You know, fun fact. Okay, let me show like basically a large expense this month that like maybe you aren't aware of. Let's see. I did speak about this publicly. I think some of you guys know about it. I'm gonna find it, but it's when I bought like 20 plus account, or I think 20 accounts of Take Profit Trader, which is already $5,000. It's just ridiculously how much it is, but it's part of the game. Should I find? Oh, it's right here. It's right here. So like you asked me like how do I spend 15,000 in a month? In one day, I just spent 5K here for future reserves. 5K on 20 accounts, which I passed actually. I passed 20 of them. And that's just part of the reserves game. Because now I'm stocked up on Take Profit. You won't have any more expenses from Take Profit for a while, except activation fee, which there's no activation fee. Same thing with Top Step. That's just, you know, you're investing in the future essentially. You can't afford to blow accounts. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing with evals. I try to pass them quickly. For those Take Profit Traders accounts, I basically got the profit target in 2 days, just 2 trades. 15 minis, 15 contracts, 2 high probability trade, and then micro the last 3 days, which is you need 5 days total. 2 p.m. happened. Okay, let's look in this. 2 p.m. closure, 4 hour. Deep drive this 4 hour. And it looks like the hourly candle. Strong closure on the hourly. I think overall, if I'm looking at hourly chart, any retap should be a short to the play down. Unless we start flipping on the lower time frame. Or like the 515 here. That shows... We're gonna probably see this. If I were to make a anticipation of this quick drive here will be a false move here. And then you try to play further down. So I don't know how far. So let's just go like any drive here. If we get a move higher and then flip lower, we're going to play for the shorts inside this hourly bearish inversion here, as well as like a 5-minute breaker here. I think the only way that I'm bullish is if we do the scenario. 5-minute flip. 5-minute closure. Makes this bearish. Or make this bullish, my bad. So we drop down to 1 and see if there's any potential entries. I need to read comments in a second. I want to see if we can get a trade here. So I'll definitely read the comments that you guys have in a second. But this does look like a short move here. Can we get an entry out of it? Because we do have the framework for it. I just wonder if we have an entry off of it. I'm looking at this hourly as our framework, though. Why is it so challenging right now to read the market for PMs so far? I'm making the case for multiple sides here. It should be bearish until otherwise. That should be the game plan. No SMT made down here. We still have a lot of bearish PD rays above, but we're deep in discount. So what I'm expecting is basically a good drive back up for leg lower, potentially, unless we get a strong closure without any retracement. Let's see. You guys, hopefully you guys play that short well. Those shorts at the unicorn here, I'm pretty sure like 880s, 70s. What, like about 40 points if you just manage that properly. We're about to get a tag back in here. Does ES looks weaker? It looks significantly weaker, which makes it more likely to play the short if we look at short bias. The only best thing we could do is not short a uptrend or what's the opposite of falling knife? Like a bull trend, or that's the best way I describe it. Like if it's a falling knife, you don't want to stand in front of it. If it's like a bull train, I guess, you don't want to stand in front of it either. You want to wait for a flip first, even if it's a low time frame flip, which we might actually get here. Chat, we're still in a like hourly short in this inversion, right? The 5-minute structure still bearish. We flipped on this 30-second. I could possibly say this to play the down to the lows again. Could look something like this. I hate 30-second plays, but this makes sense to me because we're still in that framework. How's it you guys looking? This area just kind of sucks because I do like shorts a lot, but when you look at like the whole day, right? This is kind of on the lower side. Let's just draw like a let's see. Well, let's go from London lows all the way to the highs here. We're in more of a discount range. Like this is equilibrium here, and we're much lower than that. So in the entirety of the range, this is getting a little bit tough to like just slam shorts. What would it take to get you to ditch the ICT method? Dude, Suba, for like just like put it out there. I don't think I'm gonna convert over no matter what, because it's been working. Unless I have like if you're giving me ultimatum, if I have like, let's say a 3-month stretch of a bad performance that I can like recognize, then I'll probably have to switch to something else. But Suba's been trying to recruit me for the longest time, or try to. With the, I guess I forget what he was trying to show me, but I try my best to just stay locked in because it's been working. I've been doing tremendous, especially this month. So this is the worst month to try to convert me, like absolute worst month, because I think I have my definitely for the year. I don't know if we're talking about last year, but one of my best performance. And it's just more about being very selective of your setups and your trade, because ICT is an umbrella of a lot of things. The way that you utilize it, as well as how you really trade it. Really, I trade it in a very selective way. The way I draw my breakers, the way I do my stops, and the way I filter my trades, which is pretty easy to learn, but it's just discretion, right? I think it'll be the same thing. Like if you ask like JCap, like what would it take for you to ditch your ICT trading, and he's like, he's the one that's making like literally a whole $1 million in 1 month, or I don't know, 1 month, 1.5 months, and he's just on such a tear right now. I don't think there will be any doubt where he would be like, okay, let's try something new. You would need to hit like a stumbling block for you to do that, right? That makes sense to me. Okay, we're getting a deep drive here. Much better than this drive here. So, back to what I was saying here. Just looking at the range here. We're trying to go back to equilibrium. If we're looking at shorts, I would prefer shorts above. It's just way too deep in discount. How do you rate your setup differently? It's just based off my discretion with my probability, because I'm recognizing, you know, when you're trading 5 hours of screen time every day, 4 hours, let's say, because I do 2 hours AM, 2 hour PM, and 2 hours, what is it? Asia. You're doing it every day for 4 years. You start recognizing like, okay, what do you want to see? What's the best looking setup? What's the worst looking setup? And what's the meh setup? And part of this is like, you know, we're shorting the very deep below. So that's automatically what give you a lower rating. As well as having a bigger stop here too. This is a 5-minute breaker. It's a big stop on this play. So we didn't get the 30-second flips. Something I talk about here. We're starting to get like some higher lows. And we're trying to build off of this structure here. We got this wick here. We're going to play it off this breaker here. Put our stop above the high. Notice how we didn't really get that confirmation. That just means we're just so bullish that we're not trying to flip yet. Dude, Suba, I'm open to learning new things, but I think like it's just time and place. I think right now I'm starting to like, I don't want to say peaking, but like, you know, when you're just hitting good things, I'm looking at all my fundeds. I'm on a streak right now on most of my fundeds, which I think I posted yesterday. I'll post more today, and I don't want to mess things up. And like, let's say I do try to do things. Let's say I add new indicator. I look at order flow, or I look at volume, and if I show anything like that conflicts with my original idea, that I would have to blame that. I'd be like, this is probably why I'm not doing as good. It's gonna hurt my mental. Yeah, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. If it's not like, if it's already making you so much money, doing so well, that's also another reason why. Because you could, if it, that quote could also not apply to someone doing standard, like if you're just like hit or miss. But this is, I do like this 5-minute closure above. The strong hourly closure too, but we're just so deep in discount. So that's why I've just been hands off. I've been hands off for like a whole hour now. And the only real setup I saw was this here. This is clear setup because we are in premium here. We have 15-minute P array, which filled up, and then we got 1-minute confirmation. This is the setup that I should have taken, but I went to take a bathroom break for like 5-7 minutes, and I came back. This already hit. But in a different timeline, I didn't have the runs. We would have taken this trade, and we would have made this 100 points. I don't know if I would get all the 100 points, but I'll definitely get something. Yeah, so besides that would have been like an A setup. This is so far like a B minus C plus setup because it's just not that good in a large stop, deep in discount, lots of things. That's the only secondary setup so far. And then we're trying to see what we can do here. Oh, hold up. We didn't get a wick higher here. Okay, not yet. I want to let this play out more. If it wants to build back up, I want to play for it. But if we get a strong displacement here and fails higher, it'll go back to what I think here, where we're just trying to climb higher, fail, and then move lower again. So this is still in the game here. Deep closure. But I would want probably like a chain state delivery more than anything. Play this out. But chain state delivery only works well if we take a level. So we would have to take this internal high before we can consider this. Just nothing to play for me right now. How many likes we got? We probably got let's see. 128 likes. We don't even have one giveaway yet, chat. If I break Larry's record, that's the thing too. Like, if I start thinking like that, like, oh, this person's doing so good, I want to learn from him, then it would apply to a lot of traders. There's a lot of traders that I know that's doing better than me. I don't want to have that mindset. Wait, what's Larry Bird's, or no, not Larry Bird, what's Larry's record? I really don't even, am not even that knowledgeable about whose records or whatnot. Must be like 6,000 percentage or something. The only thing I know about is when ICC talks about it, to be honest, talking about like a huge record. 11,000 percentage? Holy crap. Larry Bird, yeah, Larry Williams. I can't long this right now though, without a strong closure first. We need to get out of here first for me to look at long. So this is by default still a bearish market here for me, or not bearish market, but bearish range here. I'm just trying to look to see if there's anything clean. I think at the end of this, we want to take this wick and we fail lower. We have the structure here. We might get a bearish breaker. So something like this, and then play the lows. If we don't want to close on the 5-minute to invalidate this breaker here, that's like a potential idea that I'm framing up right now. $10K to 1.1 million in a year. That's good. That's killer. You can long 64 and ride 64 and NQ or ES. No, it's NQ. No, it's still like 20 points slower. Subo, okay, here's something that you can convince me. If you can call out trades real time and it works, and I can see it for myself. Tell me like real-time entries. Where would you put your stop, and then let it play out? If it works, you might convert me as well as everyone in the stream. I think that's also a way to really showcase things. That's what I forget. I think that's kind of how I probably got into ICT. Like, there's some people like calling ideas, and it's like, whoa, kind of accurate with it. Like, not 100%, but like at a certain win rate. It doesn't have to be scalp, but like, let's say keep it within like 30 point stop, 30, 40 point stop at most. Anything more than that would be very challenging to do. Tag in this area. Let's see. Can we wick this here? Still bearish trend here. In the 5 minute, still holding down. 5 minute breaker still holding it down as well. We're just consolidating the barcode area. We could even get that wick here where it allowed me to take a short first. Was there anything in the 30-second chat? No. Should we have played for that short? I don't know where I would play. If we got a closure through this chain state delivery, but what was that? Ironically, look at the ES and NQ. ES couldn't even get a move up, so we could have played on ES perhaps. NQ not so much. I mean, ES also has this fair value gap here, which we inverted here. Bullish fair value gap inverted, so we respected the upside. Inverted the downside bearish fair value gap. Becoming a bear or bullish fair value gap, becoming a bearish inversion, which we retrace for slam lower here. But it's very hard to really pinpoint good entries in such a tight consolidation. But that's what I'm kind of struggling with here. I think I have the right bias every single time. This is what I was calling for: a run higher and then give a confirmation to play lower. But can we have gotten that? Damn, what a slam there. Did anyone play shorts here? I once again did not get an entry off of it. I literally had the right play here, but ICG was messing the whole time about short. Short is the right idea. Like that's what I'm saying too. I'm not looking at bullish until we get closure here. And there's many basically drive that does not close every single time. I took a drive we closed at 5 minute. That's something I think about too, right? The same thing here. We drive higher, close lower, respecting this PD rate. Very unlikely to drive back up. So damn. I feel like I'm giving the right commentary every time, but if you are just looking for signals, this is probably not the stream for right now. Not this stream per se. Other streams we could manage. Should have played on ES. I think I forget that ES is a little bit more bearish trending right now, so it made more sense to play on ES. Someone said Sumo got liquidated. I mean, I don't know how big a stop is, but if he could be right, like before, where we're short-term bearish, and then it reverses the whole session, and just based off trader's preference. We're just looking for more scalp idea. We shouldn't get anything there. You just keep drawing the charts and we will make trades. How many people are playing with a bias? Let's say I don't verbatim call any trades because maybe there was no present that I liked, but I at least just draw the arrows where I'm anticipating, and I'm just telling you like where I'll be bullish, where I'll be bearish, which the whole time this is bearish. How many people are able to execute from that? And how many can't? I think that's the kind of the stats I need to see more. Because this is the only reason I'll be bullish here. Which has been bearish the whole time. And I think every time, this is another setup idea here. It's just very hard to get the entry, except this closure. I can't like 20% time. I mean, that's Odyssey though. So far, we did give like 3 potential ideas. Did we take that low? No, if we tick so. Eventually, this is something I also visualize. 2 failed drive higher here, close lower. Probably the next drive is gonna push out everything. If not, take out the internal lows at the very minimum. So if it does come back up to like, let's say this 5-minute area again, this breaker, it's probably not the best idea to keep on jabbing something. But yeah, this 5-minute structure is protecting from any push higher, which just makes this very, very bearish, to be frank here. Damn, that was good. I just did a little scalps, a few scalps. I just scalped a little bit above, but nothing that I'm taking on my main fund this year, which is very challenging. We kind of double bottomed here, and we actually took that low there. That's good. Look at this play here. I'm kind of just playing lower, trying to scalp it. This is like probably my 3rd scalp of the stream, of just me just trying to go in and out. And look how bottom wick that is. I was just waiting to press flatten the moment it takes that low, and it just drove perfectly there. But that's just my top live account. I haven't copied anything so far on my fund is really. The live, I just looked for scalp ideas that is on trend, and over time I could have like 5, 6 ideas or trades, and as long as like 3 or 4 of them, let's say 3 of them are green, it's gonna outweigh the losses. How come you don't show your trades live? The trades that I'm able to present, I can do, but like, think about it like this. Let's say that trade here, I'm already short bearish. That's like my 3rd scalp that I did off screen, just based off my thought process. Let's say I execute the trade, I cancel it or I flatten, and you get delayed by a few seconds, or you get hesitant, like you basically become a signal bot. Play it lower here. It's just a shame though, because there's no funded trades for me yet. There's just only live funded trades. We're just basically just scalp back and forth. But if you want to see my funded for Apex, I think we're about to request a payout soon. This is why I showed. I show it. Oh, it's one of these in the comments. I didn't make a post out of it, but if you guys remember, I ran these accounts to like 200K profits, 200,000, like about 10K each, let's say. And then I hit like a 6K loss per account because it initially started with a platform error because I got kicked out. I came back in shortly later, but I was already down 3K. I should have closed that. That's something I always struggle with. I should have closed it because the trade's already validated, but just because I let that trade hurt much more than it should have initially, I just didn't do anything. And that was like on like either CPI or non-farm paper, I forget the day. And like literally 15 minutes later, it just doubled and lost, negative 6K. And my 10K went to like 4K, maybe less, I don't know. But over time, this is like, I don't know how long ago, this early March, probably March 3rd or something. But now 17 days later, which is 12 trading days later, we brought it back up. And that's just like, we're out. We're not out the game, basically. You take a loss, as long as you have drawdown, you just work hard to really grind it back up. And you can see, because that's the number of days. The number of days is 23 so far. I got denied payout twice because I keep on hitting lower balance. So this is I think 1 more day or 2 more days. I'll just secure the bag there. Oh, look at that slam. Something that I also find difficult for other people is, like, let's say for YouTube stream or for the Discord alerts, yeah, for the Discord alerts, like I also do the same thing on YouTube stream, like right now, where I just basically give my commentary and I'll tell you like where I'll look, what entries I'll go for. Not clean entries right now, but you're just following the bias, right? Every metric so far is bearish. There's just no reason to be bullish right now, so I've been just slamming short bias for the most of the session here. Why hide the number of accounts? I'm at 400 right now, but I don't really need people to be detectives. Because motherfucker like Patrick was like looking at like, oh, these accounts don't match up. What happened here? And then I have to go explanation mode. Because like people can throw a handful of accusations even though they are just off by a mile. But they would have no they have no repercussions. They're like, oh, it's just accusations. But the person has to be the one really defending it. Are you gonna trade with Patrick? Probably not. Damn, market's tanking, chat. How many people play shorts at all here? Like this whole stream, how many people took shorts and still holding? If you're still holding, tell me you're still holding. Wait, what entry? I need to take a look. This is a pretty good market to study. Because like real time, we're basically short bearish the whole time. If we want to study this, we'll probably have to look at hindsight. Like, where would I look at for entries for shorts? There's a handful I can name. It's just not the cleanest. Let's take a look here. Yes, yep, holding, yep. Yeah, lots of people are playing shorts. And that's like without me saying like, oh, take a short right here. It's just the whole entire stream. We just been saying this is the main part. If this 5-minute close above invalid this breaker, then I'll be bullish. If not, this has been bearish the whole move. As well as this hourly closure. Notice how we can see this hourly inversion here with this closure up. Any retracement should be looking for lower. That's like the arrow I drew too. I wanted a wick above that high though. Or SFT, I think that makes things very, very easy for entry sake. But damn, if I were to play that short, man, that would have been probably a I think I'm up like probably 20K on the day, or maybe 15. Let's just say 15. If I took that short, PM would have added another 15. That'd be crazy. That's why you want to be nimble. Like I think a lot of people do have like, let's say, bullish bias or bearish bias. But if the charts are saying this is not bullish yet, why go through all that drawdown? Just play what you see. Good thing is, we did take this low. We filled this imbalance. I don't know if we want to go over the sell side low. That could be the objective. But the moment we show a strong displacement up, I'm going to just immediately flip my bias. So for instance, I think all I need to be bullish bias is a good closure above these wicks. Maybe even just 920s. Let's do a pull check here. P&L check for the day. It's all anonymous, guys. If you're doing bad today, you can just share the poll, which the SEA's consensus here. But I'm getting a feeling a lot of people are cooking today. Getting a feeling. Can we take that sell side liquidity? I think you should just let this trail, honestly. Like, kind of the math in this is, if it does come back to, let's say, a previous high, just get stopped out, green stopped out, and then look for another entry if you still like it. That's kind of like the best way to run about it without giving back too much. Green and red, apex green on TPT red, TPT red. Oh, okay. You're confusing me with that, but hopefully you're doing fine overall. So I feel like that one, maybe if you put a tight stop, just take green stop, you should probably get green stop. If not, you should probably lower it probably to, like, let's say this high or this high, one of those internal highs, because now we're getting very deep in discount. Like, the amount of times it got rejected is a little bit concerning in a way that, like, probably the next run is gonna really push through it. Look at that gap. It's just retracing to this gap here. I'm not gonna look for longs at all, really, if we can't even get above this 5 minute. Like, it's not gonna be part of my consideration. Just because the chart is telling me not yet. And potentially what we do is wick higher, basically close lower, like that. Same thing we do every single time, which is very deep discount right now, which potentially could be a reversal. Shopify is very expensive. I'm not sure why you guys like it. It's because it still has good value, right? So let's say straight funded. It's $400. You don't get the evals. You have a lot more drawdown. For the 150K, I think you have 6,000 drawdown. That's a lot to play with for, like, a fraction of the price. And if you get a payout, I don't think that like high initial cost is gonna matter too much. But yeah, this possibly can run back higher here. Let's see the 5 minute closure at the very minimum here. Sumo, I will get my pop. Did you take an entry, Sumo? Let's take a look. I mean, on the bright side though, we did take that internal low. I don't really want to think that we play for this low though. I want to hopefully stay in this range, because we've been just getting rejected every single time here. So let's say if we do want that low, I think we want some relief here. Long for 807. Man, that's just too far from it. I want to see kind of real time, if possible. Let's see. 5 minute close in 2 minutes. If we can't even get a closure, that does not look the best in price action for upside. We'll likely get this closure though. Good move here. I think at the very least we'll try to retest this internal high, and then we'll see how we want to play from there. Looking very closely for potential entries here. 4 hour. It's just a lot of wick, which is kind of hard to really navigate this, but this is still bullish in the 4 hour because we got a closure above. We inverse this. Nothing in the 4 hour saying too bearish yet until we get a closure under. So this does give some hope for upside. Hourly bearish, of course. That's what we see here, but you know, strong wick under, move back higher. That starting to look like more of a bullish flip. Yeah, this is what I want to see. Let's say we get closure on the 15-minute above 875. We'll get the chain state delivery. We took that internal low, and this would be probably the blueprint to a bullish trend. Instead of trying to time the bottom, you want to really wait for confirmation here. What the fuck is that? That's a weak closure. ES did get it. I'm probably not going to consider this. Who's this boy? Ronnie Trades. He said, "You really trading ICT? That means you're a strategy copier, not legit." Let's say I'm a strategy copier. Does it make me money? Is it like you have to make your own trading strategy for you to be validated? Because I'm not here to validate people. I'm here to just make money. That's like kind of my counter for that. And like, let's say the narrative is, oh, ICT copies a lot of other traders, like let's say your Larry Williams, the Wick model, all these other things. I mean, if it is, then it is a derivative from that trading model. So, which is like infamous. So it'd be like somewhat contradictory, I think. What a weak chase here. It just shows to be very bearish, and that's what tends to happen with FOMC. We just get very trend-based models. And it's been trending down all day, where if you were to try to like, oh, let's say this is the bottom, this is the bottom, this is the bottom, you're just gonna get eaten every single time. And just notice how there's not a single like flip on a higher time frame yet. Not one. Do you even know how many Apex and Top Step I got? Is that a flex? Having more accounts, we should. The better thing is like how many payouts you got. How many what's your expense? What's your P&L for your live accounts? Why does it matter how many accounts you got? I might win in that because I think I trade probably majority firms. Win next 90% sale. Yeah, I don't think they do that often. They only did that with Patrick for marketing purposes. I mean, the thing like this, Apex would win too because you know how many people will blow up their account on FOC? When you think about it like that, it's like, oh, that's why. How much money can you make before they turn you live on average? Let's say lifetime ending above like 30 to 50,000. Let's say. That's just my estimation. And if you do very well on a single, like on like the same pro account, they'll probably actually let you early like every other firm. But you know, there's two live transition. One that they just transition you live while you're trading pros, and there's like now the second transition where you don't touch the pro again. You're only eligible to trade pros live now. So there's that too, by the way. Check the 1 minute uni stats, 2R risking breaker, send DM. What's the DM? Let me check the look. Are you Delta Warrior? Roddy, you're defending Patrick. If you see his stats, well, what if I trade ICT and I have stats to back it up too? Does that contradict what you said? Because I post pretty much every one of my payouts is verified, and yeah, it's like it's probably surpassed Patrick in lifetime payouts. I don't know if he wants to round it up exactly, but let's say it's like the same. Like, wouldn't that be the same case? I for sure spent less than them in expenses. Because I think he's a little bit more reckless on resets and stuff. If you have stats, I take everything back. Okay, just take a look at my Twitter. If you scroll the last 2 years, you see every one of my payouts. And I've been pretty vocal on like how much I spent on it each month, each year, each payout. Damn, what is this price action here? It's getting slow. That's why we have time to kind of talk about things, but this is the only reason I'll try to look for upside if we get a closure on the 15 minute. This is still just downtrending here. Ronnie came in the stream. He saw ICT probably on the title. Is there ICT on the title? He's like, oh, he traded ICT. He doesn't have stats. My question to you, Roddy, is why make a claim when you know nothing about what we do? Just kind of like an honest question here. Because you didn't realize that I have stats. You didn't realize that I'm also not selling a dream. I'm trying to make everything as realistic as possible. That's why we do preach base hits and sustainable trading. Why are you taking the bait? I'm just kind of curious. I'm still watching the charts too. It's not much of a big deal here. It's just so slow. But yeah, Roddy just came in full blasting. He's like, oh, another ICT streamer. Let's just talk about shit. And he's like, oh, I'll take everything back if you have stats. Okay, now I do have stats. Please take everything back. I would like apologies. And a donation too. Yeah, what do you guys think right now? I just don't. We're still bearish trending, but it is very hard for me to just take shorts more, just this low, and then I can't even make a case for bulls yet. Maybe we'll shoot your stats, then link spam in the chat. Just shut up. I mean, that's just like kind of feeding into everything. I did that, so I didn't want to do that when Patrick was coming at me, but at the end, I was like, okay, I'll just take a video all my payouts for take profit just to shut his case down. But like, let's say I have to do that for every time someone makes a claim. What do I get out of it? Is the thing. Even Peter Brand. Peter Brand's a boomer. Basically, I feel like he's like 70 years old. He looks 70, 80. He's still talking shit on Twitter to basically all prop firm traders. He's like, show a 1099. He's like, what do you get out of it if I do show you it? Your validation or his validation to me, like, it doesn't help me. So that's why I opted to, like, okay, for every payout that you want to see, for anything you want to see, let's just put something on it. Someone asked, like, oh, you won't show your expenses. I was like, okay, give me $100 per firm or something like that per month. I'll show it to you. And then they just kind of shut up. Because they're not really, they're just kind of poking fun. Getting good move back up here. Very bullish. This is more of a bullish move this time, though. 15-minute gap above. I don't know how far we can really move from here. A lot of people are saying low right now. I just hate how deep we're in premium right, or discount right now. And I would hate to short here. I would actually prefer for a flip if it can't even do it. But every time it moves higher, it just so weak. Because the moment it flips down, it's just gonna drag down all the way back like we did prior. Good move here. Peter Brandt has never showed a broker statement in his career. That's also the thing, because you know what he said? This is so funny. You know what he said? Like, oh, I don't need to show a broker statement because I'm not posting my results. It's like, but you have literally a mentorship program. That's the most hypocritical thing I've ever seen. He literally has, like, I think he sells it for like a few $100 per month, teach you how to trade. Wouldn't that make the case that you want to show your broker statement to for the same reasons? The irony's there. Do I want to use it as a bullish breaker when we have such a big range? I'm going to mark it anyways. This is what it looks like here. So far, I don't think we had any alert trades today for PM session. I just took the scalps. We had a lot of bias takes, which chat did win out of. But the good thing is we had no wrong bias takes. I think that's something to consider too. Because if you have the right bias, kind of any short ideas on the stream today would have made money. But yeah, it's just no alerts today so far because I really wanted some entry models that I just didn't get. Bullish breaker here, which we did retap inside of. Very shallow. But if you're looking for bullish momentum, you want to get a very good displacement after we get a bullish breaker. And we're looking for this 15-minute high here. High as well as closure is what I'm thinking. Let me stick around and see if we can get something here. Big push here. If I were to take this bullish breaker, let's say the first tap this time, get a stop right here. 12 points. Not bad. You're going for the next high. Yeah, it's not too bad. This is hindsight though. I always get a little bit shaky of how tight the stop would be because of the range already. But if we're like looking for the actual move, because we got a closure off the internal high, which we haven't really done for the most part of the day. We're not getting a flip here, which potentially a reversal. Big push, big push. For the first time we actually get a sweep here. We're not gonna stop. We're not gonna stop. Where else could I have looked at longs? I'm not gonna play the first inversion SC because if you played for that, you would have got hurt many times today. It probably has to have been the breaker. Let's see if we get a long out of this, though, if we get a closure. Next 15 minute closure at 3 p.m. I guess we probably, by default, won't be able to get that because of the time. Yeah, where would you guys want to longs here? What would you want to see and what longs would you want to take here? I want to see this buy side get taken by the bare minimum and hopefully get a closure through this. This is so bullish. A big bullish candle here. That was basically 70 points in like 8 candles without minimal retracement. That's just how a big reaction this is. And all these wicks here, I want to see really get taken out. Version push here too. All right, I'm gonna delete this now. This is kind of old news. Probably one retracement to take out. We haven't taken that turn high. I think you really want to play for longs on this retracement here. Whether it's just a retrace back to a structure, or look for a move down, play back up, off inversion. Just leave all these arrows. It could be off, like let's say this bearish fair value gap here. Let's stop on that swing low. What is that shallow retracement? I really want that 15-minute high at the bare minimum, and then most likely, if we're really bullish, we'll pursue the next high 941s for the rest of the session. It's like you have the right idea, but like, do you have the right entries? That's the second part. First thing is planning the frame, the setup. Second part is executing it, and part of executing it is where you want to enter, so you can have more of a reasonable risk managed stop. All right, let's see if we get a nice retrace here. Not a single internal high get taken yet, but we already took the internal low, and we also basically barely wicked it here. Oh, got missed it by under a tick. So this is what I'm visualizing now, framing up. I'll draw a simple fib here from the swing low to swing high. Look at equilibrium. We're inside this breaker. I want to see a reaction here and see a support if possible. And if you can, try to look for a low time frame confirmation to play this. Now you're in this 1 minute unicorn here. And your target, you're looking for at least this buy side, maybe the next high. We haven't got confirmation yet though. It's just like big wick. So I'm waiting for if this can hold and look for inversion, low time frame flip. Not catching a knife here. And it looks like it just wants a knife. Odd. Come on. Hold this and get a low time frame flip. I'll play along, but I stop whatever low it makes. We'll target the buy side. Not yet, not yet. This is starting to look deeper right now. Nothing at all. It's a shame. I wanted to end the stream with a possible good trade here. We don't have the framework for it, or the entry for it. We would need confirmation, and it just sliced through this breaker. That's not like a breaker where I would like try to pray for it to hold. It's just more like if it does, I know what to do after. And that's what it's been doing all day. So part of like why we're so bearish bias is like, look at every reaction here. This 5 minute has just been holding multiple times, and now we have just basically a low resistance on the higher time frame here, which is disgusting. It's honestly disgusting here. Kind of crazy how this is playing out. I don't think I expected this. I thought this third drive would actually send it higher. But yeah, the idea was watch to see if it can hold and then play for and move higher. Oh, okay. Let's see here. I might actually play for this if we get close in this one here. It's just so aggressive. I'm definitely gonna not do minis here. I think I'm gonna do micros. It's so the way that's moving is very big range. Which if I were to do minis, I would probably have to do like a 30-point stop, and I'm not really gonna risk that much. Got a closure here. I'm gonna just delete this right here because it doesn't make any sense anymore. You're kind of just leaning on bias right now. My conviction is I think we want to play it for these highs. And now we're getting a bullish confirmation here. It's so hard, chat. I'm sorry if I can't call out trades, but this is what I'm looking at. The moment it does flip. Oh, I want to see if we can run that back up here. It's already an inversion. I do try to flip through multiple time frames on the lower time frame to see what I can really get, and this is what I see here. We're also past 3. This is past my time to really take execution, so like keep that in mind. We're gonna have to size down if we take anything. It's so back and forth. What is happening? This I want to see this holds. I really do here. Because now you have like a 1-minute BPR, and it'd be really awkward to see a slice back and forth. Can this hold here? I think you just play a starter and add if we get conviction upside. I'll try that. Probably try a few micros in here. It's in a 1-minute BPR here. See how far you can go with it. I'm not really trying to risk too much on this. It's so high risk too because of how the price delivery is going. We really this is exactly what it did. We're just gonna kind of go back and forth here, and it did basically a far cry move up, and then a reciprocal move down, and a reciprocal move up. The range going through this, we haven't got clear delivery with the direction yet. The only thing I'm anticipating when I see something like this, a lot of rejections and protected lows here. Can we see if we can get a burst move here? Even the 15-minute low, like let's say you're trying to play like I guess the soup game. We have this low here. We sweep that low. The buy side is here. We swept the internal low. Can we sweep the internal high? I think that makes sense. So that's why I'm like anticipating higher, even though we haven't had confirmation yet. And if it doesn't move by like say 312, 313, we're gonna have to wrap the stream up. At least I'm gonna overstay my welcome here. Jesus, this is some cracked out price action. Let's look at chat. Sorry, I wasn't looking at chat for the last 5 minutes. Chat, if you were to play this, would you rather like longs or shorts here? Just gun your head. Hypothetical here. I would have said shorts every time until like now here. It's just a lot of draw on the upside. You have the low resistance. We have the internal sweep on the downside. No internal sweep on the upside. And we're actually starting to respect somewhat of the lower time frame here, which I'll mark this as a BPR actually. Beautiful push here. Let's see how far we can go. This would be my highlight if we can actually take out 892 and burst through it. Ooh, oh boy. If we take this high, I would not want to see it tap back inside this BPR again. I mean, it's starting to look ugly. This is probably going to be the green stop that I would set if we get a closure past that high. And it's going to be either we basically take out this high or hit this gray stop, and I'll just continue moving that gray stop. So next closure, we got a closure. That's going to be the green stop set now. Look at this chat. This is 1 micro I have on Top Step. I just want to do it for the stream, but I'm also trying to get this on my lives here. Same entry. More of an aggressive one here. Whoa! I turn off the points or the dollars because I don't want to look at it in dollar amount, just point space. Because the way the range moves is, when I trade minis, it does somewhat get in my head. This is some cracked out price action. And I'm looking for an 892 still, the 15-minute high essentially. We're gonna put the stop in here. Where's the stop? 846. Let's see what we can get here. 846.5. That basically means I don't want to see it tap back in the BPR anymore. We already filled the BPR. We already got closure above the internal high. This should get a delivery through these highs now. And we'll do the same thing here. Oh, we're actually doing so well here. One minute fair value gap here. Please do not slice through this. For once in your life, for the session, to show a little respect. Because I'm putting very tight metric stops here. This is the first BPR that like we saw good validation out of, ironically. 308 right now. On the time. I had 2. I took 1 off the high. I have the restop set right now. And it's looking like it's going to get tagged. Which is that basically a retap back inside that BPR. I'm in a wick. The chart just looks a little ripe, but like I feel like it's gonna take my my break even or like my cycle restop, and then do one more manipulation push before actually pushing it later on the session, which is like maybe past 3:30. This is odd here though. This closure should have played it. Got pre-stopped out there. Pre-stop for 9 here. I just want to protect myself because I didn't want this to play back in. Okay. It is what it is. Even though like we made money off that kind of sucks too, because why can't we get a good delivery here? It made sense to me. You leave this as a filled in rebalance already. We got closure past internal high. Any other day, I feel like this gets a delivery to the next high. Just a little bit odd here. But, bro, we are good. We're cooking though. Chat, type 1 if you were playing longs. I could assume that you're gonna follow me to break even, but if you're following with conviction, then you do what you will. At the end though, it was still a good play. I think you're looking for somewhere like a drive in the 40s, under 40s basically, about like a 25-point play. I was asking for much more though, at least 48 minimum. They're still playing longs. I mean, it's still good. We haven't invalidated this BPR yet. And another thing would be, let's say we get this inversion here, we might try to tap back in. Consider it. I sold when it hit $20. That's you looking at your dollars amount rather than the trade itself. Good closure here. It really just took me out right there, huh? Alright, this should hold. This should hold. If it doesn't hold, I'll be kind of shell-shocked here. Back inside this inversion with this closure. Somewhat like a BPR in itself again if you extend it to the left side. You play for this for the next high. Ideally, you don't want this to go back in again. This BPR, as well as this internal low. If we had good delivery, this should retap back in and push higher. Back and wishy-washy was what I saw in the comments. It's still holding so far. It still looks good here, but it's just, is it a matter of time this pushes up, or what's the deal here? I'm just gonna stick around to see what happens. I want to see whether it pushes higher or fails. I'm still leaning on upside now. That's my bias. And we took a handful of jabs here. And this will be the next jab. See if we play off this inversion. I just don't want it under back inside the BPR or this internal low. I forgot my headphone died, so I'm not even listening lo-fi anymore. Maybe that's why I hear myself speaking rather than when my lo-fi on with my noise cancellation. I can't hear myself. So freaking odd here. I just know, like, let's say this is a bullish run. I'm gonna end the stream, and then like within the next 10 minutes, it's gonna skyrocket like 100 points plus. It just happens so frequently. That's a Wix. No strong closure still yet. This is the 5-minute charts, by the way. We're still holding. We're just kind of like consolidating this area back to like a previous jab here. Makes sense. This is probably also why the hourly is bearish here. Should be an hourly bearish inversion, which I'll mark out here. And that's probably why we're also struggling anywhere inside of this, because we got that strong closure, that gap, and every wick inside has been met with resistance on the hourly candle. It's not holding as much anymore. The only thing we're doing is basically taking the internal highs on the 5-minute wicks, which doesn't show much. I want to see closure if we were being bullish. This is actually somewhat of a bear signature when we do that. We should do a giveaway though. I forgot. We're kind of like going past the stream time. Let's see how many likes we got. 227. If you guys get 300 by the time we do the giveaway, we'll do 2. Giveaway, like, stream, and comment your username, YouTube username 1 time. Damn, people are just gonna like at the very end of the stream. Thank God it's pushing here. Let's see how far we push. I just have 1 contract in, but I have the stop set at 46. It's so tight. Kind of bad, but I want to see good reaction off this. Nope. This is what I have. I think I'm just gonna close it. I don't want to think about it anymore. I played I think 54, 55, something like that. Put my stop 46, like 8 points, just small wiggle room, because I just believe that if we're bullish here, we're gonna get the delivery soon. We don't get it pushed back in. And just when I say that, just when I close, it might just get a spike here. Don't follow me is if you have a different mindset. I think I'm just gonna wrap up here though, because I don't want to. I tend to trade very poorly power hour, and I do forget that because sometimes I'm just fooling the charts. I'm like, oh, I forget we're past our stream time. That's why I always end the stream like around 3, or do my giveaways at 3. But we'll see. I'll be happy for you guys if you guys were able to get a push here for those who are still in longs. This is basically what I have here. I'm not in it anymore, but this is the idea, and I think it's such a. I'm not gonna kick myself too much on it, but this has been like an almost 4 RR type of play had I still held this, which I'm sure some of you guys are still in. But we'll see. We'll get this delivery now. Now that we're just so close to it. Yeah, that push. I'm gonna celebrate for you guys though, for those who are still in. Okay, let's just pick the giveaway winner. Giveaway winner today is Zeldum Palm. If you're Zeldum Palm, please say something that you're aware. Okay, there you go. All right, Zeldum Palm, just make a ticket here. Take a screenshot of your YouTube handle, and then one of our staff would handle that. I'm just gonna stick around a little bit longer to see where we could go here. What's the chances that we actually can get a good run here? It's actually just so annoying. The moment it hits the highs, I'm gonna definitely end the stream. I'm not gonna stay on this any longer. Do you think we'll go for the hourly BPR session? Here? Yeah, I think that's very possible if we get a strong closure through this 15-minute here. All these 15-minute here, consolidation, if we get a strong closure, the moment we retap it, boom, we'll get it. We're gonna move straight through this to next high. That's my vision here. But chat, I mean, overall, like, even though there was not too clean of executions today, bearish, you know, and then I don't think I played anything here or thought about anything, but bullish here. We had the right bias, and we've just been practicing that day out. All right, let's see. I mean, ES is getting very close to this high. I can see that playing out here. How far can we go? How far can we go? How far can we go? ES, you want to spike this? You want to bring NQ? Your little sister here? And ooh. Type 1 of you played longs in the last 30 minutes. Basically, the last 30 minutes is when we started looking for longs here. I think right here. Yeah, last 30 minutes. Brother, we actually cooked here. I got 2 grease stopped out, but I'm cool with that, honestly. Wow. So basically, take profit. I took a lot of scalps during the stream, but take profit moved me alive earlier today. We're up 1,700 on them. Look at take profit here. Top step and Tradeify, I just kind of did base hits on them because I'm really trying to get the consistency down, but since it's a fresh take profit, I think my goal here with the new live account is you start with $0 balance, and the same way you get above 4,500, that's when you can start doing daily payouts as a normal account again. And they locked my balance on my pro account basically. I'm not allowed to trade pro plus anymore. But the moment I get to 4,500, which is back to buffer, the game plan is to go back to base hits, looking for high probability trades only, and just basically look for one trade. So that one trade yields me like $400 or $500, $300 even. I'll take the payout, and then we'll just repeat the next day, and just keeps on going like that basically. That's my game plan. Anyways, I hope you guys liked that. It was a very tough, really training session, to be honest. Like that, I gotta be honest. This is not easy. But what is impressive is how well we played short bias until like while it was short bias, and how we flipped the moment we got a strong closure. This is the moment where I started looking for upside here. When you see, I just want to explain this before I go here. I'm gonna delete all my drawings. Wait, where did my indicators go? Oh, it's still there. This is what you see, right? Down, up, high protected, down, high protected, down, and then we get a drop here. this is a somewhat anticipate is a manipulation only if we get confirmation. So we made a high, we did sweep that low, we protected that low, and this is where we got the first flip. Notice here we got the bearish breaker. We didn't get that anywhere else really. Bearish breaker here. The only thing that I disliked was how well we just dumped hard here, but we protect that low still. So we had to really opt out for an invalidation of a bearish setup, which is this here. That's that BPR we wanted. 30s, 39s, no drawdown this play. And played it to the next liquidity. So I think if you want to study this is kind of like a good session to really study how to play when it's very choppy, a little more range bound. I don't want to say seek and destroy, because if it was seek and destroy, we would take out these highs and lows. It's only been tackling lows. This basically is short bias for the most of the session. There's a lot of range bound delivery, but then we had a V reversal here, which I ideally would want to see this move higher to actually complete that V reversal. But you know, after the highs taken here, the 15-minute highs taken, I don't even know anymore. It's been so choppy. All right, I'm gonna answer questions now. I think we're gonna be done trading. I'll answer a question for a few minutes. AMD, what do you mean by not allowed to trade the live? If you go to my recent post on Twitter, I got this email here, which basically tells me I am no longer allowed to trade pros account, which pros is sim funded, and I can only trade live funded. And the difference really is it's 80-20 split on a sim account, a sim funded account. A live account is live orders, we get 90-10 split. And what happens now is if I pass the eval and I want to activate it, I have to just say, contact support and be like, switch me to live. So I don't have to go through the pro, like the sim or eval to pro plus. I just go from eval to pro plus right away, which I actually want to make a poll here. Like, which one do you guys consider? Would you guys rather have a sim account with like kind of better fills? That's kind of what I comment here. A sim account has somewhat better feels, more advantageous feels, or a live account where like it's just traditional. It's not worse. It's just basically not advantageous as a sim account. So I wonder if you want to make a comment, which one you'd rather have. I definitely want to take like a poll on that. But hopefully you guys enjoyed. We had record views today, or total views. A good session to end it, and we gave giveaway at the end. I think we're gonna wrap this up here, guys. Have a good one, and we'll end the stream. We'll end the week tomorrow with another PM stream. I don't think we're gonna do Asia stream yet this week. Have a good one, chat.